Okay, I've been looking through your e-portfolio and the work that you've been doing. I can see that you've added up your word walls and I've just tested them. One thing about word wall is that when you embed, it comes up with a very small embed size, and so obviously it's not very good when you play the games as embedded files. So it was a good idea to do that on this course because it looked nice in the e-portfolio. But if ever I share a word wall with someone, I normally either share the link with them or I obviously share the QR code. I really liked the points you made in your Google Doc. I was reading them, and in a way, I guess for me, I think it would be really the thing that I've most learned. I think I've been running online courses for just about 20 years now, and that is the key thing that I've tried to, key thing that's come out of 20 years of working, how you kind of integrate the two elements. And I think Niall do that very well. And when I started working for Niall, I learned much more about the idea. And I've kind of taken it even to another level by integrating the e-portfolio. So not only is the teaching and the delivery of the teaching very integrated, but also so is the assessment itself. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do. So I like this Google Slides activity. It's always a good idea to kind of predefine the slides so that people know where they're writing, and that way it keeps everybody organized. And there we are. I can see that you've added your part. Let me have a quick read. Yeah, I like what you selected. And I'm a big fan of e-portfolios. I have to say, with the advent of AI, we do need to think really carefully about the types of questions that we ask students, because we really need to make it as personal as possible. Otherwise, of course, they could end up getting the AI to sort of write their e-portfolios for them. So I'm not sure that e-portfolios are kind of infallible in terms of being an alternative to other types of assessment now that we've got a lot of AI technologies. But I do think they are probably a better alternative in many ways, and also because of some of the points you're making here about, for example, a test being exactly that, a test in the moment of time rather than a focus on the process. Okay, so I know you've been having fun and games with the Google Forms, but I can see now that the video is working. Isn't that unusual? Let me just quickly test it. So I've just done the Google Form and it all seems to be working fine. Yeah, I like this point about this learning curve, and it's so true. The other thing about technology and why it's so annoying is that learning curve is almost endless. So even for someone like myself who's an educational technologist, or maybe even worse for me, there's just so much to keep up with, and there's so many things happening, and there's so many alternative ways to do the same thing, and then you've really got to kind of work out which is the best one for teachers and then demonstrate those to teachers. So though I do think that technology, it's got its role to play in teaching and learning, it can really load us sometimes because it can put way too much responsibility on teachers to kind of keep up, and their job's hard enough as it is. So it's kind of interesting point that you've made there. Yeah, that lady's incredible. She was a real, because obviously the situation she was in, and she produced a fantastic e-portfolio actually. It was very impressive. Great, lovely to hear that you've started using Wordwall already. I'm a big fan. I've actually worked with this company. One thing I'd say about Wordwall as a technology, and I have quite a background in kind of working in the development of software, not as a programmer, but simply someone who comes in as a consultant. And it goes way back to even working outside of language learning, just mainstream education. And Wordwall would be right up there. In other words, it suits a purpose and it's really well thought through in terms of the way the technology works. So I'm a big fan. And as I've said, I have actually worked for that company. I know that technology very well. It's really worth, especially if you decide to get an account, to really look at all the activities, because there are some gems in there that a lot of teachers don't use. Yeah, as you said, the variety, that's one of the things and why I think it's such a good tool, especially now that the audio works so well, because originally it didn't. Yeah, this is a really good point you're making here at the end, and I think really part of that is how prepared are teachers as well. And we've all got a lot of challenges. I'm getting emails per day telling me of new language learning technologies that have been developed, and I kind of have to go off and look and test them. That's a big ask on top of everything else, and it would be an even bigger ask for teachers. Great. Glad to see as well that you've now learned something about Google Forms as well. So yes, it can be used as a quiz tool, and lots of AI technologies now. And I think I focused already on some on my channel. One really good one is Diffit. I don't know if you've seen my video about using Diffit with Google Forms, but really good possibilities, because Diffit can literally generate the Google Forms instantly. Ah, lovely. Really nice reflections. You're really learning a lot from this course. It's great to see you picking up so much. Everything seems to be working. You know, I'm going to update this course, but I have to say, every time I, you know, look at an e-portfolio and I look at the work that people do, I feel, I have to admit, I feel quite proud of the course, because it really is almost a culmination of 20 years of my teaching and learning and, you know, working with platforms. Well done, carry on, and I'll do my best to keep up with you and send you feedback.